think we could potentially have some reinforcements coming between when we get TJ back, when we get Jaylon back, when we get Kyler back. I think those are three guys going into the season you had a lot of high hopes for and what they could do.
All right, welcome in. Welcome back. Bear Down. That's the big news today is the Bears have officially opened the 21-day window for Jaylon Johnson to return. So we'll get to the full injury report here in just a minute, but the reports have been that Jaylon Johnson's been in the weight room, that he's been around House Hall quite a bit, and now today was his official first day of practice. He was out at practice. The Bears posted this on their social media. We've activated the 21-day practice window for Jaylon Johnson, which means he will be active sometime in the next 21 days. There is a slim chance, and the team will play it down a little bit. He was limited today. There's a slim chance he could play on Sunday. It's slim. It's little. There's got to be a ramp-up period. They're not going to rush that thing. So my money would be that he's not going to play this Sunday, but it's not out of the realm of possibility with them opening the 21-day window. He could play this Sunday. That's insane. So here's your Bears full injury report, and things are looking significantly better. You've got, let's show here, everyone full participant, everyone looking good to go. The only two out are TJ Edwards, which we already knew about because he has the cast on his hand. He had, he's going to play with that, and they said they're not putting him on the IR, which he missed last game and this game, so possibly next game or the next game after that he would play because they're not putting him on the IR, which means he'd miss 4 games. So he's probably going to play next week or the short window against the Eagles. Either way, he's out for this game. That was kind of expected. Ja'Day Walker still with concussion protocol. He did participate slightly today. He was limited today. He is out. Jaquan Brisker is questionable tomorrow. No clue if he's going to go. Questionable for Sunday, I should say. No clue if he was limited today. So we'll see if that's a game time thing for him. But everybody else, Josh Blackwell, Kevin Byard, Ruben Hippolyte, Grady Jarrett, Cole Kmet, TJ Moore, Romo Dunze, Dominique Robinson, which is big, Tyreek Stevenson, DeAndre Swift, and Joe Tooney, all full participants today and good to go for the game. And then coming out of the Vikings camp, this was from their social media, they posted Jonathan Greenard, who had a huge game on week 1, and Ryan Kelly, who's been out for a little bit, so that one's not a shocker. But Ryan Kelly and Jonathan Greenard are both out for this upcoming Sunday against the Bears. So that's a little advantage for the Bears there, especially if Jaylon Johnson does end up going. Of course, this is the revenge game. I was there week 1. This was painful. The Bears were up in the fourth quarter, going into the fourth quarter, and the Vikings scored 21 points on us in the fourth quarter. After being held 6 to the first 3 quarters, the Bears ended up losing that one. The Bears have had 4 come from behind victories this season. Caleb orchestrating and leading those, but we also had this one where they came from behind on us. So this is a huge opportunity for the Bears to set things straight. Ben Johnson has said this is not the same team. Neither is the Vikings, though. These are not the same teams that played each other week 1. There should be a different outcome here. Both teams have gone through, their different points in the season now. We've got a 4-5 team, and we've got a 6-3 team. And as Ben Johnson has reemphasized several times, the Bears are 0-2 in the division. So this one means a lot to the Bears. So expect them to come out on full force. Here's what things could look like very shortly. Now, with TJ Edwards out, it has been pretty much Tremaine Edmonds and Noah Sewell and the linebacker combos. We haven't had much at all. In fact, this last game, 0 linebacker play from anybody else. They were out there the whole game with a lot more nickels and a lot more, cornerbacks on the field, different dime packages and things for the defense to really take over. But with Jaylon Johnson coming back, you've got a big opportunity here to replace either Nashawn Wright or Tyreek Stevenson, who both played very poorly at different times in the season, both played decently at other times. That's going to be a huge uptick. CJ Gardner-Johnson has helped big time with the nickelback position with Kyler Gordon coming out. It's important to note Kyler Gordon is available week 12 to come back as well. That's next week. So his window should open. When Ben Johnson was asked about him today, he said, we do expect it to be on the shorter end of it. Does that mean he's coming back next week? Not necessarily, but that's when he's available to come back, both him and Braxton Jones. So Braxton Jones is available next week as well. TJ Edwards was never put on the injury report, so he's week to week. Jaylon Jones, 21 days open, so he could play this week. And I would expect him to fit right there ahead of Nashawn. But if Tyreek Stevenson doesn't play well, Nashawn Wright could play ahead of him as well. But this is huge. As you heard Ben Johnson say, having all three of them out there on the field at the same time would be monstrous for this defense. It would help significantly with the defense that has struggled without one or both or all three of them at different times. All right, so here's how they match up and how they compare. I always do this on the channel here. This is the Bears offense versus the Vikings defense, and then we'll switch it up and we'll do the Bears defense versus the Vikings offense. So for the Bears offense, we are 7th ranked in points per game at 26.6 points per game. 3rd ranked in yards per game at 379.8. Rushing yards per game is leading the way. We are 2nd highest in the league at 147.3. In points or passing yards per game, 232.4. That's 11th in the league. And turnovers per game, we're 4th with 0.7 turnovers in the league per game. On the Vikings defense, the place to exploit them would be the run defense. They're 125.6, so they've struggled a little bit there. And with Jonathan Greenard out, Bears have an opportunity to get some passing game going as well. They're 8th best against the pass. They only allow 191.7 yards per game, so Caleb's going to have his work cut out for him, but I think Ben Johnson and Caleb are up for that task. They're significantly weaker in turnovers. They're tied for 20th with 1 turnover per game. Their yards per game, they're allowing the 12th lowest, so at 317.2. So the Bears are going to have their work out for them. One significant note here, rookie Luther Burden III boasts a team-leading 89% catch rate. That's been the buzz this week. 16 catches on 18 targets for a team-leading 6.6 yards after catch per reception. He's getting open. He's starting to develop. He's going to look really good moving forward for the Bears. I would expect to see more targets to him. On the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side for the Vikings, the Bears defense is coming along, but it's had significant setbacks through the season. The one strength is their turnovers. They're getting 2.2 turnovers per game. Their turnover margin, I'll get to that in a second, it's one of the highest in the league. And the Vikings are turning the ball over on offense, tied for the last worst in the league at 1.8 turnovers per game. This is a recipe for the Bears defense to really help out in this game. So the Bears defense is allowing 27.4 points per game. The Vikings offense is only getting 21.3 points per game on the offensive side. And with J.J. McCarthy under center, the Vikings are 5th worst in passing with only 173 yards per game and the worst completion percentage in the NFL with him under center. So Vikings fans are excited about J.J. McCarthy because he's got an alter ego called 9. He calls himself 9 when he gets to the second level, but his second level has been absolutely pathetic so far in the league. He is the one quarterback from the 2024 class who's done nothing to establish himself so far in the league other than injuries. He had the comeback against the Bears, but that was more of a Bears collapse. Being there in person, that was more about a Bears collapse than the Vikings offense taking over. The Bears will have an opportunity to redeem themselves. The Vikings, an opportunity to prove themselves that they can take the next step. So it's going to be a little bit of a battle here. All right. So the Vikings overall, 299.9 yards per game on offense, 102.1 rushing yards on 197.8 passing yards per game, all bottom 3rd in the league. But as I said, with J.J. McCarthy, it's only 173 yards per game passing. The Bears, they're allowing a lot, though. 27.4 points per game, 375.7 total yards per game, 135.3 rushing yards per game, and 240.3 passing yards per game. But remember, a couple of these are inflated because of 2 games, the Lions game and the Bengals game. Take those games out of it, and the Bears are actually above average the rest of the games. So the Bears have an opportunity here to set themselves right against the Vikings to show that defense can control this game, and it's going to come down to the defense, in my opinion. All right, so as I mentioned before, the Bears still have the top turnover margin. They're still leading at a 1.6 yards per game. No other team has more than 1.6 turnover margin per game. So they're taking away the ball more than they're giving it away at 1.6 per click. No other team has more than 1. Jaguars and Buccaneers are tied at 0.9 turnover margin plus per game. Rams at 0.8 turnover margin per game. The Vikings, from the previous graphics, you would garner this and you would kind of expect it, but they're 2nd worst in the league at negative 0.8 turnover margin per game. So they're giving the ball away almost a whole 1 time more than they're taking away the ball from their opponents. So this is a good recipe for the Bears to be able to have a positive. When they're the highest and the Vikings are the lowest, they should have a plus, according to the math, plus 2.5 to plus 3 in turnover margin. So it could be a huge game for the Bears on defense. Here's how your experts from NFL have it predicted, with 7 out of 10 going for the Bears. I think the other 3, when their explanation was that the Vikings are at home, and it is hard for the Bears to win at US Bank Stadium. It's always been a challenge. So this is going to be a tough game for the Bears. I don't have it nearly as close. I think everything lines up for this to be a slaughter by the Bears. I think the defense will give up a little bit more than they should because the Vikings are at home, but I think the offense is primed to break out. 42-24 is my final on this game. One big reason, because Caleb's birthday's next Tuesday. Yes, it's a stupid reason. I admit that. It's not the most logical reason. But I'm going to tell you, with Caleb last year, he had his birthday spoiled by the Packers. That was the first Packers game where the Packers won. Last second blocked field goal spoiled his birthday. I think Caleb's going to take this one into control, take command of this game, and leave no doubt for him to have an enjoyable, happy birthday next Tuesday. I think Caleb's going to have a massive game. His first game over 300 yards, 3+ touchdowns. That's my prediction. I do think the Bears will win the turnover margin by 3+. I do think it's going to be a blowout. 42-24 is my prediction. And as always, I do appreciate you guys tuning in, being a part of the channel, following along with me. Not going to do a watch party this week, but I do. It's also my birthday. My birthday is one day off from Caleb's, so my birthday is the 17th. Caleb's is the 18th, so I'm going to take this weekend for me with my kids and have some fun. I did enjoy the watch party last week, so we'll do another one. Maybe we'll do one next week before Thanksgiving, before I head off for Thanksgiving for my Thanksgiving plans. So maybe we just book on that now. But I do appreciate you guys tuning in, being a part of the channel. I just always want to express that this is not possible without you guys. So if you don't mind hitting that like button, subscribing if you haven't subscribed, share with your friends. There's always some tidbits that I share that you're not going to find other places. I really enjoy following the Bears. So with that, appreciate you guys tuning in. Da Bears, and bear down.
Bear down, sports making Chicago proud.